Made the Democrats campaign. We've made them defend their position, and tonight could be a glorious night, or it could be a very depressing 2020 night. Could go either way. This could be like 2016 for the conservatives, or it could be 2020. And I know a lot of you probably have an idea how this is going to go, but I want to remain optimistic because, listen, we haven't even counted yet. Although, I mean, they have technically, and they're going to release those numbers at 8 p.m. But have faith. There's still time. And if you haven't voted, I almost forgot to vote. I almost forgot to vote.
You?
I did. I almost forgot to vote. John Machiko joining us in studio. I voted at 2:45, John.
I heard that.
I
heard you saying that. I didn't realize that you almost forgot to vote.
I almost forgot to vote.
I did hear you say that you voted before you came in.
Yeah, I come on the air every day, and I'm like, make sure you vote. Make sure you vote. Grab 10 people. And then as I was going, I was like, oh, man, I got to be at the studio at this time. I'm going to be there until 10. Oh, wait a minute. When am I going to vote? And then I rushed to a voting center, and then that's when I witnessed the what I thought. It could very well be voter fraud right in front of me. And people are sly. You know, the Democrats want you to, I mean, they want the evidence. They want video of someone going there and changing and tabulating. That's voter fraud to them. I mean, they want the, and we could literally give them O.J. Simpson type of evidence and they'll still be like, no, the glove doesn't fit. That's not voter fraud. Didn't happen. But John.
Fortunately, you're right. It's ridiculous.
It literally, we could present them that entire, we could show them bags of ballots being delivered to L.A. County election clerks. Well,
they did in Georgia. But
yeah.
Under the table, folks.
Right, and they were covering up the counting.
Yeah.
I mean, so
stop the press. Stop.
Yeah, stop.
Remember, we sat here that night, and like the numbers weren't moving, and I'm like, what's going on? And then we just stopped. We just stopped counting. We're giving it a break, and I'm like, what? You remember that?
I do. I thought it was our internet. I was like,
yeah.
Hey,
I felt like such an idiot.
It was not refreshing.
And then I remember waking up the next morning because Trump had like a 600,000 lead, voter lead.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I wake up the next morning, hit my phone. It's tied. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Tied. That's impossible. But apparently, it wasn't.
Yeah. No. You give them time. You give them ample opportunity to rig this. And I also said,
but don't say anything.
Yeah, no. Listen, we got no shreds of evidence.
There's so much evidence
to prove this.
Look what's going on in Arizona.
Yeah, no one talks about it. No one talks about it.
Why? There's so much cover up with the media. The media is, in my opinion, they're the number one enemy.
Oh, without a doubt, John. Yeah. Without a doubt. All right, I want to do pros and cons. All right. I want to do pro and con. We talked about the possibility of nothing changing, but we could be like 2016. You know, the conservative could come out on top. Everyone could be shocked tonight, just like a lot of people were shocked in 2016.
It would be beautiful.
Yeah. So tell me, pro. I mean, this is how the night would start for me. The first question: do you want Gavin Newsom recalled? Yes or no? Yes. I mean, if those 8:00 numbers hit, and all those Democrats that return ballots were actually Democrats that don't like Gavin Newsom, if this thing is within 10 points, if those early numbers, if it's within 10 points and we keep it tight, we're not going to know. If Larry Elder wins, legitly, they won't do it. They will not give him the satisfaction. If Larry Elder wins tonight, we won't know tonight. We won't know for a while because they're not going to give him that satisfaction. Yeah. They're going to say, okay, fine, he's up now, but don't worry. You know, the Democrats tonight have, I mean, they got insurance plan after insurance plan after insurance plan.
Plan B, C, and E, and D all waiting.
For sure.
Right. So this is one of the things I was wondering. Tell me if you think this is a possibility. That the left think, there's nothing to worry about here. I'm not even going to go out and vote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Is that a possibility?
Absolutely.
I think it is too.
Absolutely.
And I think that's, hopefully it comes back and haunts them.
Yeah. Look, we were on the campus of Fresno State. Matt White from Turning Point is going to join us later. Yeah. We talked to 10 students. All right. 10 students. One of them was, I'm going to vote for sure. The other 9, that's today?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. Are you going to vote? No, but my roommate's been telling me to vote. Are you going to vote? And he's like, no, I'm not. So as I'm thinking through this, I'm asking myself, okay, and there hasn't been a huge young movement.
No, you don't hear anything.
So the young progressive left isn't going to come out.
No.
Right? The Latinos, they don't like Gavin Newsom. They might not come out. So who's coming out?
If you don't like Gavin Newsom, please come out. Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you who's coming out. It's the base.
It's us, Guillermo. It's you and me.
And listen, and that's what happens in special
Larry
elections.
only got 2 votes. Guillermo County.
No. It's gonna be better than that.
No, of course
it's gonna be way better than that.
No, of course.
But as I'm thinking about this, because we're gonna know eventually how the Latinos, did they forgive Gavin Newsom or not? But who's gonna vote for him? You have to win voting blocks in elections. I mean, you got to get the elderly, you got to get the elderly, you got to get the young, you got to get the middle age, you got to reach the suburban moms. There's got to be a whole spectrum. I don't know, besides just the rabid base, who's going to come out for Gavin. All right, we got to take a quick commercial break. It snuck up on us. We'll be right back here on the best talk in town election coverage all the way late into the night. Hey, we appreciate you joining in on Facebook Live. I know we probably have a lot of Alan's audience, right? Alan Autry will be joining us after 7 p.m. Couple hours. Well, no, right around the corner, actually. Alan Autry will be live, but we invite you to listen to our coverage here. You got John Machico right here, Lisa Moreno, myself. We're going to be bringing you our opinion on what's going to happen with this recall, and hopefully in less than 3 hours, we'll get those first numbers, and we'll be pretty excited, pretty happy.
Yeah,
at these numbers, John. Right?
It really would be nice to get some positive numbers early.
It would be. Listen, and it's not the end of the world. But if we don't have some good numbers polling pretty early on in the night, and as every half hour comes, and as each county starts dropping, we'll find out right away.
Do we have a clue as to what counties are going to be pro-elder? Like, have they broken it down like they do in typical elections?
I haven't seen anything besides, the middle of California. The middle of California is more conservative.
Standards.
The Bay Area, LA. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if the early numbers come from California or San Francisco, then.
Yeah, that's right. We invite you to leave comments, ask questions, and we'll go ahead and respond. But right now we're going to fix our set here. Recall election day is here. Conservatives, don't spike the football just yet. Just get yourself to a voting center and ASAP. Get there fast. Grab your neighbor. Grab your neighbor's dog. Yeah, we don't. Well, that's Democrats. I'm sorry. They allow their pets to vote. They go grab. I want to check the cemeteries. I want to go by. How many dead people are voting. It happens. And no disrespect to dead people. No disrespect, but we know it's going to happen. You guys are looking at me like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that.
Did you just say
it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Well, there were quite a number of them that voted in
there were
2020.
There were. And they,
to our surprise.
They're so good. They just come up that night and go back down, and not an inch of dirt was moved.
Don't hear a word. It's just, they're in, they're out. Boom.
I love it. All right. Lisa Moreno joining us, the president and CEO of Talk Radio 1550 KXCX, former California Republican Central Regional Vice Chair. I forgot how long that title was. John Machiko joining me here. We've been on the air now for about an hour and a half.
Right.
Mom. So the floor is yours. And a lot of people have missed you being on the air, and they realize that you and I are not, on the same wavelength of conservatism. So, which is,
right.
My mom is very, very far right. I mean, Alex Jones kind of far right. She's not.
No, she's not.
She's not whatsoever.
Did you see John's look at
Yeah. You have all flavors of conservatism here.
And that's why we're awesome.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You see, this is exactly what I say to Republicans wherever I go and non-Republicans. The Republican Party is dynamic. The Republican Party is a spectrum of Republicans. We don't all look alike. We don't all sound alike. We don't all believe alike. We do have our core conservative values, but it is okay for us to prioritize different values. We don't all have to be identical. Just as you would cut a pattern out and you have this paper doll structure, we are dynamic.
Well, the thing, and I'm not sure if you listened to my show yesterday when I spoke about, there was an LA Times columnist.
Of course I listened to your show.
Good. That's it. Two people. We're good. No.
Come on now.
There was an LA Times columnist that spoke about Larry Elder. Yeah, he's a black candidate. He's black. And they said, but, listen, the Republican Party is still white. They're still racist. They're just using him. This is the same party. They just like him because he's championing the same things. This is not what you think. He's not they just, to the left, if you're a minority candidate, you've been brainwashed.
Nothing to see here is what they're trying to say.
And that's what they've done to Larry Elder. I mean, they've belittled him. They've called him a racist, which is, and only they can get away with it. I know you two have seen the ape costume, the liberal that looked like she hadn't showered in 5 years. She threw the egg at Larry Elder, and Larry Elder just so gracious. I mean, he has ran a campaign unlike a campaign that I've ever. I mean, the guy is gracious. He's kind.
Did you hear what he said about that?
I did not.
He said, "Who's to say that was a mask?" And obviously,
that's what I'm talking about.
What he was trying to do is take a bad situation, make it a little funny.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny, actually. Who's to say that was a man?
That's awesome.
But could you imagine that happening to Barack Obama?
Oh, no.
Oh, man. They would have been. Come on.
Headlines.
Yeah, Bubba
headlines,
Wallace. Bubba Wallace, the noose, remember? Bubba Wallace, the noose. They sent out the FBI.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's really sad. All right. There's a lot of doom and gloom. I get it. But I want to talk positives here. All right. Let's just say we do a 2016 tonight and we win. All right. Conservatism wins. The people of California win. So let's talk about the pros. Okay. Because reality is going to hit Larry Elder. And listen, for sake of argument, we're going to say that the leading candidate obviously is Larry Elder. He was polling at 30% above all the other candidates. I mean, he is the leading candidate. So
but that's a good point that you bring up. It's not necessarily just Larry Elder versus Newsom, which we're talking like it is.
Yeah.
But there are other candidates that can draw away from Elder, right?
Oh,
yes,
so you well bet it is.
Exactly. So that's kind of a tough situation. That makes it a little tougher for Elder, obviously.
It does, and I think after 8 o'clock when we find out, because I hope, and they will, they'll give us what the first question is, like, hey, do you want Gavin Newsom recalled, yes or no? And then they'll start giving us a breakdown of all the other candidates, Larry Elder, John Cox, Faulkner. I mean, the 46 candidates. And at that point in time, I think it's going to be clear, like, hey, listen, Larry Elder's,
because the situation you run into as a voter is, we interviewed John Cox here, and I personally like listening to John Cox, but you have a situation where I don't hear him in any of the mainstream media. So is my vote getting wasted on that? And you have to start playing that game a little bit. Right. If you feel like, well, everybody's talking about Elder, so people are either going to vote Elder or Newsom, like, you may like John Cox, and I like him, but is my vote getting wasted, so to speak, which I hate to say it like that. And I don't mean to be disrespectful.
Throwing it away.
No, yeah,
You're throwing it away.
No, but you have to start playing that game because the end product is you want to see Newsom out of there. It's recall Newsom, not, you know what I mean?
Well, John, let me ask you this question, and then Lisa, I want to get your opinion. If we come out losers tonight, but we narrowly lose, or we win on the first question, but a Democrat gets in, the YouTuber, right? Do you think Republicans have pretty much slit their own throat by not being necessarily organized behind one candidate, behind Larry Elder?
Always.
Yes. So, okay, let's use round numbers. Gavin Newsom gets 1 million votes. I'm just using round numbers.
Yeah.
Larry Elder gets 750,000 votes, and John Cox gets 500,000 votes. So really,
but
the Republican Party won as far as more votes, but because we were behind one candidate, we lost.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess he would get, Newsom would get the votes on that first question because he's not on the second question, so he would get that first question at 1 million. Then we don't even go. I get what you're saying. Whereas,
is it not the way I'm thinking?
No. So Gavin Newsom is not on that second portion. It's just for his candidates. So Gavin Newsom is only at the top. Like, do you want Gavin Newsom? Yes or no?
Okay, that's true though. I'm thinking of it. Yeah, you're right.
So I think so. So if Gavin Newsom wins on that first question, and if he loses on that first question, in your scenario, it would be if he loses on that first question, and then we just, I mean, you got Larry Elder with 30, you got John Cox with 10, you got Kevin Kiley with 6.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but you're right. Yes.
Altogether, we would have defeated the guy. Oh yeah. Then at the end of the day, there's going to be hatred against the GOP. There's going to be hatred against conservatives. It's like, wait a minute, you guys can't get together, and we haven't. The Democrats did. They put all their eggs in Gavin Newsom. Yeah.
I'm an eternal optimist. I think that tonight has so much learning ability because regardless of what happens tonight, of course we want to win. We've said that again and again and again and again. I think that tonight is prime opportunity for every single voter, especially obviously conservatives, to take a pause, a step back, and strategize. With the outcome of the election, there are a couple of people today that texted me and said, John Cox, all the way. And every time I got a text,
really?
Yes, every time I got a text, I've been getting texts since last night, through the morning and through the day. Every time I saw John Cox's name come across my phone as a text, and they said, did you vote? Of course I did. Did you vote? Yes. Who'd you vote for? My thing is, you and I have had these conversations, Guillermo, again and again and again. Name ID, name ID, name ID. John Cox has been campaigning for a year plus. So when we look at the outcome tonight, I look at it from a strategic point of view because the battle does not end tonight. It does not end here. If we win, great. We move on to take more wins and we turn the state around. If we do not, we still win. We do not lose. There's no way that I see tonight as a defeat, John. The reason for that is we have to take what happens tonight, learn from it, build upon it, and take them out the next go around.
But does the California Party, Republican Party, and Republicans in California, do we have that? I mean, are we going to be able to learn from tonight?
Yes, we do. I believe we do because you have leadership now at the state party level that I'm in constant communication with. You continuously have Jessica Patterson, chairwoman on our airwaves. I believe that there is prime opportunity for leadership to take a pause back and see what happened. Jessica is a strategic leader.
The chairwoman of the California Republican Party.
Yes, she will pause, sit back with her inner circle and say, what can we do from here? She is a numbers person. She's a business person. She's a strategic person. She will take this as a learning opportunity, Guillermo. This day is going to be the historical turn of events that changes the base of the Republican Party, conservative grassroots, fundraising, mobility. Outside, we can hear in our studios, there's enthusiasm. They are setting up the balcony, the area here. Do we expect that 5 years ago? No.
And that's what I said this yesterday. I was like, hey, look, it's not just another manic Monday. It's not just another Monday in California. Like, we're forcing them to do that. Democrats were sweating it out. I mean, they were having talks like, hey, should we run another candidate? I mean, they were stressed out. And I want to keep in mind too, recalls aren't general elections. They're not special elections. I mean, they're its own beast. I mean, no one can you just can't. You don't know what's going to happen with these recalls. You don't know what's going to happen. So, we could win, we could lose.
Tonight, we will not lose. Tonight is a win for Republicans across the state because people such as myself, and I know you will dissect this, John, I know you will dissect this. We will look at the returns, the percentages, the numbers, the votes, the tallies, who showed up, who didn't, and we need to build on that to take them out. If not tonight, which I hope we do, the next go around.
Yeah, well, and listen, I spoke to, we have a great weekend program. Pastor Max, he was in studio with me.
He's awesome.
And he had said, hey, listen, he goes, if we don't win tonight, I want you to know that we started a conversation with a lot of people. They now realize, they're now starting to connect the dots. We might not win tonight, but you know how many hearts the California Republicans are changing. So he said, brother, don't think of it as a defeat. Don't think of it as the end of the world. There are so many people that are waking up. And he said, I want you to find comfort in knowing that. And that's very true. I mean, he's right on the money. We could lose tonight. We could lose big. But I mean, we've come a long way.
I continue to say we are not losing tonight in any way, except if we don't take him out, we have still won. I had so many conversations this morning with voters where they were saying, he's not going to get taken out. He's not going to get taken out. And I said, listen to me. This is not only about Gavin Newsom and the state of California. This is about the state of California and our down ballot, our Secretary of State, our Lieutenant Governor, our assembly candidates, our congressional candidates, our local city candidates, our supervisorial candidates. This is not just about Gavin. This is about the Republican Party, the future of conservatives in this state. We are not silent anymore. You can't stop it now. The train is left station. We are on it. This is not going to stop.
Well, as I thought about it, this is what I want conservatives to realize. Look, we brought it this far. Recall. We can do things. We can do things in this state. Maybe the next time we don't focus on a recall. We focus on voter registration. We now know that together we can do something in this state. If we don't get it the recall method, we can still do it in many numerous ways. We can do it through ballot initiatives. We can do it via. I don't think we'll elect individual politicians, but there's things that we could do. Do another recall. I mean, really, just anger the Democrats. Do it again.
Do not go away. We cannot.
There you go. Don't go away.
Don't go away. Show up. Be here. Do it again. The first recall failed. Did we stop? No. We win again, and we succeeded.
And this is the fourth petition drive that made it. So yeah, you're right.
So we didn't stop.
Yeah, we didn't stop, and that's why we're here. If they didn't gather enough signatures the first 3 times.
And truth be told, Guillermo, the Central Rally was critical, was instrumental.
Oh, for sure.
Was detrimental to the Democrat Party by making sure that we are here tonight.
Yeah. The
Central Valley is the core of what's going on.
Now they're going to change it. They're going to change the recall. They're going to change the rules. Democrats don't like that they've had to do this. They're really upset. They're really bothered by this recall. They really are. So they're going to change it. We're not going to have those same recall rules. It's going to be much harder to recall a governor, I'll tell you that. When we come back, we have, we're running out of time here for this segment, but don't forget our election coverage kicks off all of the up-to-the-minute polls and all of the votes being cast. We'll let you know beginning at 7 p.m. Polls drop at 8.
$48 plus the 5, that's 51%. So 51, I'm sorry, forgive me. And only forget it.
5% safe.
We appreciate you tuning in on Facebook Live. I want to get to some of your comments here. Kathleen, I voted yes. Get that scumbag out of here. Aurelia, I voted yes. Vicky Allen's army will be watching. Most will show by 7 your time. Appreciate that. And Oklahoma checking in. Phyllis checking in from Oklahoma. We appreciate you tuning in. Alan Autry will be here at 7 p.m.
EX. Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-221-4420. 800-221-4420. 800-221-4420. That's 800-221-4420.
Want the inside scoop on an area? Locals always know. Want an inside advantage in your job search? Then you rely on a staffing local. We're Spherion, a 65-year workforce leader with a distinct local focus. Just last year, we helped 160,000 individuals find exciting careers. I'm Glenna Gates, and my team knows the Central Valley area well. More than a business, this is our home, and we have connections to the area's most respected companies. Gain a local career advantage and call Spherion at 559-251-4040 or visit us on the web at spherion.com.
You have 2 hours and 13 minutes. 2 hours and 13 minutes before the polls close. Yes on question 1, Larry Elder on question 2. And then come on over here to Manchester Center, our victory party, and celebrate the fantastic local Larry Elder campaign team setting up. The DJs already tested the music. It was overpowering our audio. I mean, that's good audio.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Lisa Moreno, John Machiko in studio. Matt White from Turning Point will be joining us later, as well as Alan Autry, former NFL quarterback, actor, former Fresno mayor. And then Jim Franklin, bring you the right side of the left coast. Pastor Franklin will be in as well later on this evening. Another election night. I'm excited. I'm excited until I have a reason not to
be excited.
Yeah. But I'm cautiously optimistic. And CNN, the Communist News Network or state-run television,
pretty much what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. They're giving some exit polling. And it's not something. They're telling us what we kind of know already. You know, California liberals, they're okay with the way the state's going. Listen. The state. Did you ever see that meme? It's an old meme. It's like a dog and everything's on fire around him. But he's like, "Oh, it's good. We're good. We're good." I mean, it's essentially what California. I can't wait to play for you some of the audio from our.
I don't understand how you can have a state. You live in a state that has the highest taxation and has the highest homeless rate, and you're going to sit there and go, "It's all good. We're all good. We're not all good."
Can I give you my opinion on that?
Yes, please.
Is that okay? Today, I had a conversation with a very wise, informed voter. And that person said, Lisa, if we lose tonight, I don't know that we should continue to blame others but ourselves as conservatives. I said, what do you mean by that? And the person said, we need to message better.
That's the conversation we had.
We need to get our message to the voter. And honestly, I feel like I need to own it. I need to take responsibility as a Republican, as a conservative, and I need to find the way to get these voters, like John is saying, that why don't they care that they're being taxed at 50+%, 60% in California? Where's all that money going? The person said to me, we need to pose more questions to the voters so that they can start processing it versus assuming that they know, and why aren't they voting any other way?
That is exactly what we said last time.
What you have in California is you have low information voters. I mean, low information voters. They don't know what's going on. They don't know how to connect the dots. Plain and simple. They see things around them like, oh, wait a minute. No, that's not good. I shouldn't be seeing a homeless encampment on the freeway. But that must be Trump. That must be the conservatives. There's so many people that are low information voters that are somehow still connecting things to Trump and to conservatives. It's like it's almost as if that's their theory. If it's bad, it has to be conservatives. That's number one. You have low information voters. And number two, like I told you, Democrats now, it's party over anything else.
Right.
It's party over religion.
Right.
I mean, it's party religion, then country. I mean, they don't care, John. I mean, you and I talked about it. They don't care. They don't care that Afghanistan and Joe pulled out and America. Nobody cares. Listen, Democrat did it. It's fine.
The person you spoke to was absolutely right. Whoever that person was nailed it right on. It is our job to message better. It is our job to market better. It is our job to simplify it in a way that makes sense to the potential voters.
Nah, I disagree. No messaging anymore. We got to go out there. We got to start registering people.
No, absolutely.
I mean, we got no.
We still got to present a better
right
message.
No, seriously.
No, it's a tripod, 100%.
But they want to know why they're voting. What they're
No,
voting.
John, let me tell you, these are low information voters. They don't care. Listen, we walked around with Taco Bell gift cards, $5. They give us $5 for your thoughts. Yeah, sure, I'll do
I
that.
hope not.
Give them a gift card. I mean, that's illegal, right?
When you look at the voter registration numbers for Fresno County, I agree with you 100%. You're looking at 200, almost 200, if not over the 200 mark, 200,000 Democrat voters registered in Fresno County. And then you look at the independent voters, they're higher than the Republican voter registration. Mm-hmm. So yes, I am a firm believer now that without voter registration, the numbers, it's all about numbers. And if it doesn't add up, 1 and 2 are not 9. We cannot win. I agree with that. It has to be a multifaceted approach. Strategy. Voter reg, message.
Yeah, and we got a ballot harvest. It's legal now. We got a ballot harvest act. I mean, we have to get comfortable. I have to get comfortable calling you up, John, and say, hey, where's your ballot?
Exactly.
Where's your ballot? You don't want to give it to me? Well, I don't care. Tough.
Give it to me.
Give it to me anyways.
Fill it out, lick the envelope. I'm coming to your house, and I'm picking this up.
I did that today. I just returned from turning one in.
Yeah.
And I had my ID ready.
No, you don't need ID.
Well, going through the drive-thru.
You don't need ID. You don't need anything.
That actually is true because I took someone to the polling place this morning, and the person walked up and said, "I did not receive my ballot." They said, "Okay, fill this form out." The person went to the desk again. They checked the person's information. Then they said, "Okay, go inside and you get to vote." The person said to me when we were inside waiting, "I didn't show my ID." And I said, "Well, but they looked you up. They looked you up with your information." But we need to stop thinking that this is a very complicated system of checking and balances and triple checking. Get someone there, get them to vote, and the rest takes care of itself. We cannot assume as Republicans that everybody is in this just complicated thought process. Take your ID, register to vote. You can't do this way. No, go out and do it.
Well, like I told you, let me see your ballot. Let me see. That's my ballot, right? How do you have my ballot?
She took it.
How many ballots? Yeah, maybe we are playing the game. No. We're not. That's my ballot from earlier. But no. And I want to let me see the ballot here because I want to. So listen, I'm gonna say it again because I said in the 4 o'clock hour. I showed up. I want to see it, man. I want to run it through the machine. I want to see that ticker. And while I was there, hey, what's your birthday? I actually gave him my. I don't know why, but I said, I was born in 95. And then I thought, and she was typing it. I was like, no, I'm sorry. Wait, no. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to think I'm trying to vote for someone else. And here I was freaking out like, oh my God, like here, I don't even know my own brand. I got nervous, right? So I was like, no, it's 1985. I was born in 1985. Like, I'm not committing voter fraud, I swear. No, and then right next to me, this gal, let me see the envelope portion. This gal comes in, and I mean, it's just, talk about, it was licked and it was torn like this. It was torn, and she said, hey, and she pulled it out. She pulled out the ballot. She said, hey, can I have another envelope? And these envelopes, they have a barcode. Yeah. They have a barcode. Yes. And she said, I need another envelope to put this in. And one of the workers was like, oh yeah, honey, don't worry, let me get you another envelope. And I looked it over and I'm like, I've read the back. The voter signs here, you sign here. The voter signs here, nothing was signed. And she's like, oh, it's for my grandma. And yeah, sure enough, got a supervisor. And the supervisor was like, oh no, hold on. And I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. And she goes, no, you just put it in the same envelope. You're fine. And sure, boom, turned it in. So hold on, but I want people to understand. I'm dead serious.
Guillermo went through a couple of John, you and I are in the medical field. He went through a TIA, he went through an MI,
I know,
a silent MI, then he went through a partial stroke. All that was.
No, I was. I thought to myself, do I call him out? Do I be that guy? And I said, you know what? Fill out your ballot, stick it in the machine, get your sticker, move on with life. But this is the way, and I want everyone to understand, especially our national audience, California, and especially the individuals in charge of the voter centers, their whole thing is, no, you have to let everybody vote. You make it, you find out, okay, where do they live? It's okay, fill out a provisional, You go in there, they're going to throw you a ballot, and they're going to give you an envelope. You might not stick it through the machine, but they're going to try and give you a ballot. That's just the way it is.
Right.
They don't want to send anybody away.
Right.
So when everyone's like, "Well, give me the proof. Give me the proof." Well, the problem is you've made it so easy to cheat. You know, you can go drive around town, bring 5 people. They're going to give those 5 people a ballot. Oh, you don't know where you live? Oh, that's okay, honey. Don't worry about it. You don't know your birthday? Don't worry about it. You don't know your name? Don't listen. You don't even got to know your name, sweetie. Don't worry. Let's just fill this out. Where was the last location you remember? You know you're alive, right? No, I'm dead serious. No, I'm dead serious. There's no barrier. I mean, and that's what it is.
I agree with that.
John,
I'm sorry.
It is so disturbing to hear this.
You see,
It is.
You see, wait, hold on, you two super right conservatives.
No,
I agree.
It's not a right thing. It's.
You know, I agree with that process. But you know what?
I don't.
What?
No, guys, listen up. Hold on, before I get attacked.
What we should do
before
is
I get
let's
attacked.
go to Home Depot. I'm gonna buy an inflatable Frankenstein Halloween. We're gonna take the generator here. We're gonna blow up Frankenstein,
Wait a
and we're gonna walk in, and they'll probably give him a ballot.
Explain to me what you agree with.
I will, happily. So I always see it as strategy. Whatever the Democrats are doing that's working for them, in their favor, we need to learn to play the game by those rules because we're not in power. We need to get over ourselves and stop thinking, if I don't do it this way, if that, yes, look at voter integrity. Yes, make sure there's no voter fraud, get involved, be at the polls. There were Republicans this morning that identified at the polls that are working the polls. I get it. But my point is, we need to, what you saw today, Guillermo, should tell you, okay, who can I go pick up that hasn't voted because they don't have a ballot, and doggone it, I'll get them to vote too.
But we have integrity, though. And most people I know work. I can't just go round them up. They're at work.
Did you hear that they might make voting a national holiday? I thought, for sure, they do that, Republicans will win hands down because we won't be at work. We'll all be at the dang polls voting. No, but what my point is, we already know the system that we are in California. The Democrats are in power. They have a system. We can either continue to try to swim against the current and try to save ourselves, or we can go with the current in a way that benefits us until we can get to the point of changing the system.
I just feel like we don't know that many people, conservatives. Like we don't.
Oh, come on now. Come on now.
Listen,
Come on now.
I don't know. I mean,
you may not know a lot of people, but a lot of people know you.
Well, yeah, but I can't just show up and say, "Hey, it's Guillermo Moreno. Hop in my van." Here and be like, "Whoa."
Why not? Do like the ice cream truck. Have like the music playing and hang out the window and tell everybody to join in.
John, bring some.
So,
we got less than 40 seconds.
I feel like if there are rules, they should just be abided by. That's all.
I agree.
Like you're saying, do what they do. But if what they're doing is not abided, why do we have the rules if nobody's going to abide by the rules?
So let's not abide by them either, so that we can play the game on a fair level.
Why don't we just institute the rules and make that enforceable? That just seems to be more logical.
Because they're empowered and they won't allow that.
All right. We gotta get going here. We'll be right back here on the best talk in town. Don't forget, Alan Autry coming up later on this evening, as well as Jim Franklin giving you the right side of the left coast. He'll be in studio breaking down all the results as they come in. We'll be right back.
From ABC News, the chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Democrat Bob Menendez, threatened to subpoena Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin to testify about the chaotic exit from Afghanistan. To Secretary of State Antony Blinken, he said,
Mr. Secretary, the execution of the U.S. withdrawal was clearly and fatally flawed.
It was day 2 in the hot seat for Blinken, who spent hours defending the Biden administration's decisions.
The evacuation itself was an extraordinary effort under the most difficult conditions imaginable.
Both Democrats and Republicans continue calling for accountability. Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says plans to move a $3.5 trillion budget spending bill through the chamber will continue despite opposition from Senator Joe Manchin.
We're moving forward, and there's going to be a lot of intense discussions and negotiations over the next few weeks.
It's unclear when the Senate could vote on the bill full of progressive priorities. Senate Democrats also unveiling a modified version of their voting reform legislation, expanding early voting and allowing all eligible voters to request mail-in ballots. I'm Faith Abube, ABC News.
I absolutely love my dog, but the constant shedding, not so much. But then I got a Swiffer Sweeper pet kit, and it is amazing. These super thick cloths pick up a crazy amount of hair. Just look at all that. And that was from just one swipe. And the best part? Sweeper's so much easier to maneuver than a broom or a vacuum, easily getting around chairs and under the couch. You're right. Now I can focus on you, not your shedding. Swiffer Sweeper Pet Kit. because shed happens.
Hey, this is Alan Autry. You know, a strong body means a strong mind and a strong immune system. In today's world, nothing could be more important. That's why Fit Republic and Fort Washington Fitness is committed to helping you become stronger and healthier, and at a price you and your family can afford. Whether you've worked out your whole life or just getting started, their 4 locations in Fresno provide state-of-the-art weight and cardio equipment and professional instruction, all designed to help you get in shape and stay in shape. But what about COVID, you ask? Well, what about it? You know, not one single case of COVID has ever been traced back to a gym. That's not stopped Chris Montoya from making sure his gyms are as clean and as COVID-free as any place you'd find. He and his professional staff were dedicated to providing you with the best and safest workout experience in the Valley. For more information, go to their website, myfitrepublic.com. That's myfitrepublic.com. Hey, what are you waiting for? Go sign up right now, and I'll see you in the gym.
Even if you're young and healthy or have already had COVID-19, it's still important that you get vaccinated. Why? Because being vaccinated means you're less likely to get or spread the virus. That makes life safer for you and people around you, especially those who can't get vaccinated. It's not just about protecting yourself. It's about saving lives in your community. Let's get you vaccinated. Let's get to immunity. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find walk-in sites near you or call 833-422-4255. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
All right, you got 2 hours and 8 minutes. 2 hours and 8 minutes. If you're a conservative and more than likely you work, you have a job because, well, most conservatives work and
that's what we do.
That's what we do. We
work.
A lot of people count on our income, our tax money. And I'm not saying that Democrats don't work. Maybe not hard as the rest of us. Hey, listen. Hey, look, keep it real. Keep it real, all right? John Machico in studio, Lisa Moreno in studio. I want to go over some of the polls here. We're not going to do audio for this hour. Don't forget, stay with us all evening long at 7 p.m. Our official coverage officially begins. Alan Autry joining us. Jim Franklin will be joining us at that time. All right, I want to talk about these polls because I don't think there's a poll that's been favorable for conservatives or Larry Elder since the beginning. So I have you guys look.
Yeah, I see it.
And I want to share it. So basically, when this recall first started, all right, it was close. It was within 5 points. Gavin Newsom, it was within five percentage points. You got 40% wanted him out. You want 45% wanted him in. And then it went to 7 points. And then it got really close. End of July, beginning of August. It was within 2 percentage points. And then September hits, and that's when it split 20 points. 20-point shift. So what happened between late August to early September that pretty much just kicked it into high gear?
School started.
That's a good point.
School started. Children went back to school for the most part. Gavin felt the heat. The Democrat Party felt the heat. They saw that this was nipping at their heels, and they turned into concern mode. And they said, what can we do? What can we not do? I can't get crazy and keep the schools closed. The kids got to get back in school. National was sort of sending that narrative out. Fauci wasn't making sense at this point, and schools started to reopen.
He also threw some stimulus checks.
Correct.
Californians.
Right.
So, nice timing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And this was the California poll, Emerson College polling. With Fox 40, KC24 locally here, KTLA. So I mean, it's pretty accurate polling that they had conducted, and it was close. So we believe this poll is not going to be a good night for us, but school happened and ballots started going out. Ballots started going out. So maybe.
And I was going to say, I don't think Democrats took this seriously until all of a sudden it was time to take it seriously.
That's a really good point. That's when they felt the heat.
They felt a little heat.
And they put their foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Could it be Republicans' faults?
It is.
Listen, well, hold on. Larry Elder. Larry Elder did join a little late. So could these, do you think that maybe they just got, hey, we don't like any of the candidates, we'll just stick with Gavin?
I don't think so.
Could it be that we didn't run? Well, I don't want to say it. We ran. There's 20 Republicans. We ran every flavor of conservative.
Yeah,
I was like the
Baskin Robbins. Flavors.
I'm not thinking that was part of it.
What do you think? What do you think it was, John?
I think the other couple things that we said, school started, the stimulus checks for Californians, and again, they weren't feeling the heat until it came time to feel the heat. So all of a sudden, you're throwing money their way. You're doing other things to get that voter engaged. Now, I don't know how accurate it is. We're about to find out.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question. Let's say it's close.
That would be awesome. Or we win.
If it's close, let's say it's close, but we lose, hypothetically.
Okay.
Do you think the Democrats look at this and go, we're not resonating, maybe we do need some changes? Or do they go, who cares? We won. Let's keep pushing forward with our agenda.
It's the latter. Who cares? We don't care.
What a
We're
shame.
in charge. But that's good for us as conservatives because that's what we want. We want their arrogance. We want the pride. We want the attitude of we are in charge. Who do they think they are? To continue because that's what the voters are seeing right now that is not resonating with them anymore.
You know what concerns me about that? Is that the longer that this goes on and how fiscally irresponsible Newsom and his entire staff is regarding what they're doing with $63,000 a tent in San Francisco, $260,000. I mean, you're talking about $18.2 million in tents, and that's just this year. That kind of fiscal irresponsibility, we say, okay, it's good because, maybe we'll get it next time. Maybe we'll get it next time. There may be a point where it's too late to do anything. All leverage is lost. And you can't just keep thinking that it's going to get better once we get in there when there's nothing to work with.
Right.
And I fear that. I fear that for the country, and I fear that for California.
Well, Democrats won't stop. They don't see elections and close ones as anything. They get past it. A win's a win for them. Just like in football, right? It doesn't matter how you win. You can
as
win
long as you win.
You can win ugly. A W is a W. They have an agenda. They're not. They have an agenda. They're not straying from it. They're right. Voters are dumb. They're wrong. They keep the course. They're going. I mean, unless the only thing that's going to send a message to them would be not California Democrats. They're a different breed.
Yeah, they are.
They're Nancy.
They are.
They're Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, AOC times 10. They're different. The way we send the national Democrats, they're more responsive. Obviously, 2020 and the shellacking that they're going to get, we know it's coming. They know it's coming. So then they'll stay. They won't change policies. They just won't aggressively go for all of their promises. That's what's going to happen. But I think we're missing the boat. And I hate to say it because I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist. And there you go again. But I think we really have to look at how votes are cast. We got to be cognizant of.
There's a conspiracy theory about that we absolutely have to do that.
But the Democrats have framed it so well. It's like, well, you're crazy. What are you talking about? It's like, no, I'm not crazy. They're making us. They switch the script so well.
And that is what's so frustrating for me. It's not about Californians. It's about semantics, how we frame something, how we market something. It has nothing to do. Politics isn't even politics anymore.
Nope.
It's theater. And
you hit it on the money.
And it's so sad because, again, low information voters don't even know what's going on. How many people even knew who the governor was when you went to? How many?
It's scary.
I heard the number.
Like half.
No,
like half.
I heard it was like 10% of who actually knew who the governor was.
One girl was like totally. She was oblivious.
Not a clue.
Not a clue.
I mean, you gotta know who your governor is, especially when he's in the news all the time.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, keep it right here on the best talk in town. Alan Autry, Jim Franklin, Matt White from Turning Point joins our coverage. Don't change that dial.
It's a baby.
All right, what we're going to do is we're going to start every hour on Facebook. So we'll come back at 5 minutes after the hour, 6 p.m. So we're going to end this feed, and then we're going to restart another one. So we appreciate you and tune in.